everyone! Today you're going to draw a still life in the style of cubism. Cubism is a kind of art that makes everything look geometric. Before you draw in the style of cubism, you're going to draw the still life in a realistic way. Try to draw it exactly like it looks, or as close as you can to the way it looks. This will be a good warm-up and good practice for you. It will also help you while you're learning to overlap objects in a still life. I set this still life up a couple of weeks ago so that I could look at it and draw. Your still life will look different than mine. You guys have two still lifes to choose from, one on each side of the room. You should choose the still life that is closest to you, or choose the still life that you can see best from your seat in the art room. This drawing in your sketchbook should just be a sketch. You don't have to include all of the details, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if things are wrong. It's also okay if things are a little out of place or the wrong size. For example, the little mannequin, the little wooden mannequin that I drew, his legs actually look a little bit too short for his body. But that's okay. It was good practice and I had fun drawing it. As I draw, notice how I can go back in and erase. It's easy to erase because I haven't drawn very darkly with my pencil. The harder you press with pencil, the more difficult it will be to erase your marks. So draw lightly. Draw each object in the still life. Remember to erase lines that cross over each other. This camera that I'm drawing is in front of the vase of flowers, so I should erase the lines from the vase. Just like the mannequin man is in front of the violin. You can't see part of the violin. So take your time, have some fun in your sketchbook, and you don't have to add color. Next, you're going to get a large sheet of paper for your project. Your project paper will be drawn on in the style of cubism. You may use a ruler if you would like to. So in cubism, everything should be squared off. There should be very few or no curves at all. So now I'm drawing the baseball glove that was in my still life. Notice how the fingers are squared off, and notice how I drew a cube instead of a ball. Instead of a sphere, I drew a cube. Now I'm drawing the vase with the paintbrushes in it in the background. This was pretty easy to draw in the style of cubism because a cylinder really is a rectangular shape with a curved top. So all I had to do was leave out the curved top. Now I'm drawing the violin. I thought the violin was really fun to draw in cubism. I'm drawing the same still life that I practiced drawing in my sketchbook. I'm just changing things to be angular and geometric, not round and curvy. Take your time. Remember, this is your project. This is the work that counts. And don't forget, if you draw lightly, you'll be able to erase things much easier. Here's the vase of flowers. draw that won't erase very well, you don't have to worry too much about that because we're going to be coloring these in. These drawings will have color. Our last drawings were black and white still life. This drawing will have color. Any mistakes you made that won't erase can just be colored over. I added a strap to the camera because I thought that would be a fun thing to do in cubism. This camera really didn't have a strap. On the outside edge of my picture, there was a big dinosaur. I couldn't really see the whole dinosaur, but I decided that I wanted to draw him in the background. There was a big empty space there. Cubism looks great when space is filled in. Okay, so we're going to color these with colored pencil. Remember, use a handheld pencil sharpener to sharpen your colored pencils. When you color with colored pencil, color things in layers. So I've used dark green, medium green, and now I'm coloring over those two colors with a really light green. And I'm pressing pretty hard. When you color last with a light color, the light color will help other colors to blend together, especially if you color hard. Push down. Use a lot of pressure. I started with green in the center of my flowers, and then I'm lightly coloring over it with a fuchsia or a magenta color. Then I'm going to color over that with a lighter green. See what color combinations you can come up with. I'm coloring lightly with orange. Now I'm coloring over the orange. I'm pushing really hard with yellow. I'm coloring really, really darkly with the yellow, right on top of the orange. I outlined my flower petals too. I'm using a light blue on my vase. Then I'm using a turquoise on top of the light blue. Experiment with lots of color, and I want every area that you guys color in to be layered with more than one color. I'm coloring over my vase now with a darker blue, but only on the bottom so that it looks like water. For the violin, I started with pink, and now I'm going over that with purple. Remember, you guys are going to be coloring the whole page. And don't forget, when you're doing your initial drawings, draw big. Fill up your whole space. If you have extra room, you can add things to the background, like I did with the dinosaur tail, up by the flowers. On the left side, I also drew the corner of the window. Or it could have been a shelf in the background. Fill up your whole page. There should be no big empty spaces.